Hello YouTube family, Greg D here with TGN, and we are back for another DCUO video. And today I want to kind of give you an updated Earth DPS play from the tray loadout for game update 82. Really, the loadout hasn't really changed all that much. I've been kind of playing around trying to find different ways to make Earth still relevant and make it one of the top DPSs. So, like I said, not really much has changed in the way of the actual loadout itself. I've also been trying to work with a more of a weapon-based loadout, but I haven't really figured that one out totally yet. Or I should say more of like a hybrid style, but haven't really come up with anything really all that great for that yet. So I'm still working on that. But as far as what I have for the play from the tray, really, the only thing that I've changed, honestly, is switching out Fortify Golem or Totem for Fortify Golem. The reason why I do that is because I've noticed playing the actual Tier 9 content that a lot of times the crystal dies. So I figure that it's probably more important to keep what's his name? Crystal. Keep Crystal alive so that she can actually do damage. Now, granted, she won't do as much damage because she won't be as powered up as often, but if she's still alive, she'll be able to still do damage as opposed to dying all the time, and you won't have the damage anyway. Plus, you get the extra damage over the dot from Totem anyway, so you kind of end up doing a little bit more damage yourself. So I feel like it kind of evens out. So with that in mind, we'll just go through the whole thing if you're new or if you want to try Earth and you're just starting the game. So for the play from the tray, that basically means that you're going to be using all powers. So you won't be using any weapon attacks at all, although sometimes just to kind of feel kind of funky in it because you might run out of power, I will throw some weapon attacks in there from time to time. So as you see here, I have 155 skill points. We went with the super powered focus, put all 20 points into critical attack chance, all 40 points into critical attack damage, and since we're talking about DPSing, you want to put the rest of your points, whatever you have left over, in might and power. So let me go. Oops, I lost it here. So we have nothing. We have nothing in iconic powers whatsoever. Now, obviously, you also want to make sure that you put your one skill point into your super speed movement, whatever that is, so that you can get around the open world quicker, as per usual. And then the weapon attacks, we don't need anything because we're not using really any weapon attacks. So I'm not using any points in here whatsoever. So just kind of like look through there. I have two-handed as my main weapon, as you see. So as far as the actual loadout is concerned, so what I have from left to right is Debris Field, Unstoppable, Totem, Earthquake as our Supercharge, Jackhammer, which will be the main attraction of your loadout, and then Summon Crystal Golem. Now, obviously, Earth can be pretty boring with this loadout, but this is like the best loadout that I've come up with that does the most damage. And for a while now, Earth has been one of the top DPS powers. Like I said, it's simple, it's kind of boring, it can get monotonous, but for those of you who are just starting or want something that's simple and want something that's not too involved, this is like the perfect loadout. So if you haven't yet, give Earth a try. Now, you may be wondering why we're using Unstoppable, because this also sets up a power interaction, and as you see here, we have two powers here right in a row that will cause a power interaction. And the reason why we use Unstoppable as opposed to one of the other powers that will, let's say, like Stone, where it's, you know, the crushed enemies will take additional damage. And if you notice there, it's a Supercharge generator. That's the only reason why we're using it. If it wasn't for that, I would probably use something else here. I might use Striking Stones. I might use... Now, I probably wouldn't use Reinforced because that's a weapon buff and we don't need that, but you get the idea. The only reason why we're using Unstoppable here is because it's a Supercharge generator, and if you look, you need 5,000 Supercharge to get Earthquake going here, but it requires 10,000 to activate, so we need that boost as far as generating the Supercharge so that you're actually able to use it. In most instances, by the time that I get to the final boss, Supercharge is ready and available, and it hits really, really, really hard. So let's go through this again. So as you see, crushes enemies, unstoppable, crushes enemies, and that is your Supercharge generator. Now Totem, this is what I'm using instead of the Fortified Golem. Fortified Golem will power up your pet. Totem, God, I keep getting them confused. As you see, conjure an undulating earth totem that damages and knocks down nearby enemies. Any nearby golems receive healing over time. So you are keeping your crystal alive, obviously, by being able to heal it, but you're also getting an extra dot. So once you have all three of these powers going, you'll actually notice that your ticks, as far as your damage numbers, actually quicken up a little bit. And like I said, over time, I feel like this evens out, just because if your crystal's dead and is dying constantly because you're running, the top tier content, there's no point. What's the point of having crystal if she's going to die all the time? It's not going to do you any good. It's not going to do you any extra damage. So that's why we're using Totem here. So Earthquake, as you see, stomp both feet to create incredible seismic event that wreaks widespread destruction. Your target enemies caught within the area effect are stunned, rooted, and heavily damaged from the splattering lava. Also, you see there that there is a earth combo. So tap melee 3 times, consumes additional Supercharge to cause additional damage to enemies, culminating in an explosive blast that knocks the enemies down and deals damage over time. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Jackhammer, like I said, this will be the main attraction of your loadout. So you can basically keep tapping melee unlimited, as you see there. Jackhammer creates more destruction. Crushed enemies take additional damage from the power interaction, and then obviously we have the system. Summon Crystal Golem, which is your pet, your DPS. Crushed enemies take additional damage from Crystal Golem's super powers. So basically, all you're going to be doing is running from left to right. Now, the only thing that sucks about this loadout and sucks about Earth in general is it's very power hungry. So you want to keep that in mind when you are using Earth. A lot of times I do run out of power, which does, in fact, kind of suck. So, just like I said, keep that in mind. So here we go. We're going to show you here. So I'm going to pop my trinket, and then we're just going to run through from left to right, and we'll show you how this does. So basically, you just want to clip those two, get your golem going. So now you've noticed you've got all these dots, and then you're just bam, 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 bam. And this is basically it. That's basically it. So now I'm out of power, but as you can see there, you can usually go for a good 10 or 15 seconds before you run out of power. And then obviously what I do is I reset as long as you're in the same group of ads or whatever, I will keep using Jackhammer. But every time that you come up to a new set of ads, you always want to reapply your power interactions. So essentially what it's going to do, so if you're like in a big group of ads and you're in top end content, all you really want to do is just go through these 3, and then you just want to go bam, 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 bam. So as you see there, I hit for a 10,000 there as we got everything started. You can just basically go through and keep doing that until you either run out of power or the group of ads dies. Now, once the actual group of, like, you come up to a new group of ads, obviously what you want to do instead is we'll let our power kind of revamp here. So what I'll usually do in the case of, coming up to a new group of ads is we'll set up all of our dots here, and then we'll go use this. Now once, like, unstoppable, and I'll even throw a weapon attack in there maybe sometimes. But as you see, like, once you come up, like when you're in the lower end content, you can burn through the ads quickly. I always tend to reapply the power interactions just because you can keep those dots going, and then that way you'll end up doing damage over time. And honestly, I mean, this is pretty much on par. I actually think it does a little bit, you do damage a little bit faster, I think, doing it this way as opposed to having the fortified golem to power your pet. So just bear that in mind as well. I still think with this, if I'm similar combat rating, similar skill points, I can pretty much top DPS almost anything with this. So let's actually use the trinket now. We'll actually show you the supercharge here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my little supply drop here, and we're going to roll through. And then there's the extra damage from the supercharge, so keep that in mind as well. We'll go that way, throw that in there. Throw that in there. Whoop. See? Got a little attack, see? So I consistently, with that first damage of Jackhammer, hit about, 10,000, 11,000, which is pretty good. So that's all I got for you. Hope this is helpful. Try it out. See if you like it. It really works well for me. Hopefully it works well for you guys. Let me know what you use for your Earth loadout. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. And until next time, we'll see you soon.